why do we keep records in the first place?
The point of having a record is for those times that you don't anticipate, where somebody is interested in asking you questions about something that happened to you financially, a lot of times tax related, at some point in the past, and you've probably long forgotten what happened. And those are the times where you're awfully glad you have good records. There's some very basic ones, and in accounting terminology, we call it files that you hold permanently, or permanent files. But there's a number of things like your marriage certificate if you're married. If you've created a will, I mean, these are obviously very important documents. If you want to travel out of the country and you have a passport, that's something you want to keep on hand all the time. Birth certificates, unfortunately death certificates, some very basic documents like that that you want to have on hand and keep all the time. Depending on what type of income you have or how complicated your financial life is, you know, obviously your tax return is your relationship with the Internal Revenue Service.
That lovely agency.
The lovely agency, yes. And so there's a lot of income and in some cases expense-related things that you're reporting on that return. And there are cases where they'd like to have more information and they ask for it. So insurance is it's a great one that you don't really think about. But if you think about the times that you need insurance, again, it's something that was unanticipated. The worst possible one is a fire. If you have a fire or something happens with your car, suddenly you wish that you could have handy information on stuff that you had that's now gone. And
right.
Fire is a great example of that. And so your ability to explain that to an insurance company is a great example of why you'd want to have records on hand that will help explain what maybe they can reimburse you for.
What should we keep in terms of our home loans and our household things?
Yeah, so we'll get into a little more detail on this maybe a little bit later
Sure.
in our discussion, but certainly when you acquire a home, there's going to be a lot of documents that go with that. There's going to be a closing statement that spells out in great detail where all the money is going, because you know, for most of us, myself included, purchasing a home is a very significant event, and it's big dollars.
Right.
You're borrowing money from a bank. You're paying costs that are higher than you'd normally just write a check for and walk away. And the record of that's going to be handed to you at the closing table.